First off, it's Charles J. That just in case you ain't heard of me, they told me it was too late. But I promise that I'll be the first to speak. Most of these rappers, they fake. But you can't have your way, this ain't Burkhead. Everybody said it won't be till they see smoke, then they realize they'd rather have turkey meat.
What it do? It's 903 Boxing. I'm your host, Charles J. Say, man, before I even get to the shit, little under the goddamn weather, you gotta goddamn bear with me. Yeah, we gonna keep doing these videos, but goddamn it, this motherfucking winter done came through, and it's a lot of shit in the goddamn air, so bundle up and be goddamn careful. Let's get to this shit. Oscar Delahoya says Tank versus Ryan will do $2.5 million. I'm here to protest that shit. I'm here to slam that shit. I'm here to counter that shit. I'm here to say that shit is cap and all that shit. And some more shit. First and foremost, when did we stop judging fighters by their past? When did we stop judging fighters by what they've accomplished? When have we stopped judging fighters by what the fuck they've done? Not by what they say. So, like I said, I'm telling you, bro, that's why I say it's war for me. I'm not here to entertain you motherfuckers. I'm not here to be politically correct. I'm at war with boxing, because boxing ain't shit. But I love the sport and I love the art. But boxing ain't shit. And this goes to show you why boxing ain't. Anytime a motherfucker that's full of that goddamn snaughter, full of that goddamn Christina Aguilera, this motherfucker got coke running down his goddamn nose, and he can get on national television and say that Tank versus Ryan is gonna do $2.5 million. Bro, you on dope and dog food. Let me explain. I said we've always judged fighters by what the fuck they've accomplished. Ryan has never been on pay-per-view. How can you say what kind of number? Let's be honest. Tank versus Hector Garcia. That 73,000 shit. I don't believe it. I think it was about 400,000, between 300,000 and 400,000, which is very good. That is a very successful pay per view. So Tank by himself can generate 400 pay per views alone. So you saying that Ryan Garcia is worth 2.1 million pay per views by himself? I recall when Spence and Bud was in negotiation, and Bud done been on pay-per-view 3 times. I want to say 4. And he's put up numbers that Ryan has never put up. And even during negotiations, Espinosa and everybody said, we got to be realistic. You've only sold, what, 100? He did 170,000 against Amir Khan, I want to say. Yeah, I think his highest numbers was like 200,000 or something like that, which is pretty decent. And so they said, how can this do 1 million pay-per-views when Spencer done over 300,000 and you only doing 200,000? That's 500,000 pay-per-view buys. So you motherfucker said Spence versus Bud ain't gonna do 1 million pay-per-view buys. Bud is not no more though. At this point, Ryan is a bigger star than he's a bigger star than everybody but Tank and Spence and Wilder or some shit. Ryan a top 5 star right now. And I'm finna show you how fake boxing. Before Ryan mentioned Tank name, he wasn't even mentioned in boxing. Nobody was talking about Ryan until he mentioned Tank name. Now all of a sudden you mention Tank name and Tank bit. He bit on that shit. And it become the biggest fight in boxing. Somebody who's nobody's talking about. Nobody was talking about Ryan before he mentioned Tank name. Nobody ever said Ryan finna have a pay-per-view fight with such and such. Nobody ever mentioned Ryan even having a potential pay-per-view fight until he mentioned Tank name. So, man, I'm not going for this shit, bro. I'm not. Listen, I think Tank is a very good fighter. Not here to bash Tank. And a lot of you sensitive ass Tank fans, you motherfuckers love Tank so much that you'll just put up with whatever. You ain't even gonna acknowledge that Ryan ain't a star. So, I'm looking at this shit, and I'm looking at you motherfuckers. In my opinion, Oscar De La Hoya and Ryan pimped you motherfuckers. Straight pimped you. He pimped Steven Espinosa. He pimped Al. He pimped Javante. And he pimped Calvin. You see how Crunk, and I got respect for Calvin Ford. He look out for black fight. It's no disrespect to you what you do in the community. But now you motherfuckers bit on Ryan. You motherfuckers have made Ryan a superstar. You motherfuckers. So, like I said, How do we go from never having a pay-per-view to now all of a sudden he's a pay-per-view star and have never been on pay-per-view? So you motherfuckers got to explain it, because where I'm from what I know about boxing, we judge fighters by what they've done. You ain't never put up no number. Ryan has never headlined at the MGM Grand. Leonard Ellerbe came out and said Devin Haney ain't a draw. Devin Haney headlined the MGM Grand, sold it out. Another thing, the only explanation for Ryan and Tank, because Ryan versus Tank is a bigger fight now. It's a bigger fight than Spence versus Crawford. I can say that, but it's a bullshit reason why. Spence versus Crawford was a bunch of black folks fighting each other. That's all that was. A bunch of Bud and Spence fans fighting. That's all that was. And it's damn near become a disaster. You motherfuckers damn near ruined that fight. But Ryan versus Tank has become bigger. And I'm going to tell you how. For one, the promotion behind it. The promotion that they have put. Every interview is about Ryan and Tank. They didn't do that with Spence and Crawford. Now, with Spence and Crawford, it was a negative stereotype. I mean, what are they going to do? I mean, are they going to get the fight done? They ain't saying that about Ryan versus Tank. They saying that fight, everybody hopeful and in good spirits and shit. So I'm looking at this shit and I'm saying, Oscar Pimpchild, you let a motherfucker that's been accused of molesting multiple women, sticking his fists up women and sick ass shit like that. This kind of motherfucker can be a top star. He can be a top promoter, and that just let you know what kind of country we in and what kind of sport it. That's why I'm gonna tell you something. After this video, I'm gonna do a video about Wilder, and I'm gonna get back on black issues. Cause I ain't got time for you boxing motherfuckers. I ain't got time for fuck boxing, and this is why. Oscar is now. Due to Tank, due to Calvin, Ellerbe, he not with Ellerbe no more. Al Heyman, Steven Espinoza. Oscar is back at the top of the game. You motherfuckers have brought him back to the top of promoters and shit like that. Because when the last time Oscar had a pay-per-view fight? Oscar been at the bottom. That's why he looked at Tank and he preyed on that situation. So if you think Oscar and his team ain't finna make sure that they do everything they can for Ryan to win this fight, you motherfuckers on dope and dog food. But black fan, one thing I notice about y'all so delusional. You don't never think it's some suspicious shit unless it's a black fighter or some shit like that. Another thing I gotta point out. So if Tank versus Ryan is bigger than Spence versus Bud, the only explanation I can come up with is it because Ryan's is that's what y'all saying? Because if you making it like two black fighters can't be the biggest fight, and because Tank is fighting a Mexican, is that why it's bigger? Because if that was the reason, then why Tank versus Isaac Pitbull Cruz didn't do $2.5 million? Tank made Cruz a star. He's a star now. But even if they rematch, it won't do 2.5 million views. So you can't say it's because he's a Mexican. And Ryan don't even have a Mexican fan base. He don't have a diehard Mexican fan base. Not like Virgil Ortiz, not like Alex Rocha, not even like Andy Ruiz. Ryan you don't see Mexicans just really riding with him. No, Mexicans ride with Canelo. So when you talk this shit, man, I've talked so much shit about Canelo, but one thing I can say about Canelo, bro, that motherfucker way more of a fighter than a motherfucking Ryan. He's won world titles. He have fought some motherfuckers. We giving credit to a motherfucker that ain't done shit. That's the shit that disgusts me more than anything. And Tank respected him. You said Devin wasn't shit. Devin ain't a star. He ain't a real champ. But you gave Ryan respect. You gave a motherfucker that never won a world title, never sold out. Why y'all ain't talking about them numbers? So I'm saying we always want to point out when somebody don't sell out, when they're not putting up numbers. Ryan ain't putting up numbers. So where's this 2.5 million? You got to show me this shit because it don't add up. So like I'm saying, at this point, I see what boxing is all about, and I see what it's becoming and what it's turning into. That's why anybody can come box now. Anybody can fight. Hell, Roy Jones finna fight that big transformer-looking motherfucker. You can make whatever fight is big, and at this point, the promotion behind Ryan versus Tank it's a bigger promotion than any fight out. They making this shit like it's some Manny Pacquiao versus Floyd type shit. as much shit as I talk about Manny Pacquiao, that motherfucker won world titles in different weight. That motherfucker had beat some people to get a super fight. You motherfuckers is calling this a super fight, and this motherfucker never been a world champion, bro. So I need all you motherfucker diehard fans, explain this shit to me. Explain to me how Ryan versus Tank is even worth 1 million pay-per-views. Because Tank put up 400 by itself. So that's meaning you saying that Ryan is worth over 600,000 pay-per-views by itself when he's never put up numbers. Never been on pay-per-view. So now, bro, it's a lot of shit you can tell me. Yeah, it's a lot of shit I've seen in movies that's way more believable than this shit you telling me, bro. White Man Can't Jump, that shit was way more believable. Yeah, when that motherfucker dunked and Wesley Snipes threw him that ball, that motherfucker dunked and was hanging on the rim and shit, and all them black folks was looking amazed and shit. That shit was way more believable than Ryan versus Tank doing 2.5 million pay-per-views. This is 903 Boxing. I am your host, Charles J. With that, I'm out.